Let me look at my notes. Hi, I'm Becca, and today I'm gonna make a dress. So it's been about a year since I last sat down to make a video. I intended to rather quickly follow up my last video with this one, where I make the dress that I already made the sort of foundational undergarments for. And then I engaged in my signature trait of procrastination, and this lovely satin-y fabric has been taunting me from the corner of my sewing stash for 13 months now. And it's finally time to do something about it. Part of the reason, though, I feel like I was procrastinating is because I have my muse. She is flighty. I had gotten very excited about Bridgerton, and that's why I got into like the Regency style stuff in the first place. I mean, I like that genre anyway, but it was the thing that was currently exciting me, right? About costumes. So I made the stays, and I made the chemise, and then I bought the fabric for the dress, and then I wasn't really watching it anymore, and I wasn't really interested in the spin-off as much, and I wasn't even really interested in going back to watch it. I had moved on. So I decided to reframe my inspiration for this project in order to trick my brain into getting excited about it again, so that I could use this fabric and unblock myself and move on. So to finish this little trilogy of videos, I am going to sort of take that initial inspiration I had of Bridgerton and sort of this fantasy of the Regency era and clothes and stuff, and then add a different type of fantasy component and do like elven magic forest fantasy Regency. So Regency Fae, which basically means to me that it's basically just a Regency dress, and I get to wear elf ears, which is what I want to do. So that's what I'm doing. To get into it, we already know what fabric I'm using. It's this, I don't know if it's really showing on the camera in the light, but it's like very, very pale seafoamy green. And then I also, oh, I forgot. I even bought these way back a year ago. Where is it? Oh, there they are. And I have some matching beads. Can you see the beads? Yeah, beads. To make a necklace. The ears, obviously, and the hair. I also have a crown that my friend got me for Christmas, and I'm so excited. But before we get to the accessories, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me show you what I want to make. Let me show you the design. So I'm drawing out my design here, and then I'm gonna watercolor over it just to kind of give it the fantasy feeling. I drew it with little puffed sleeves and a flat front bodice. I'm not going to gather it. I'm going to do darts the way most of the leads' dresses are in Bridgerton. And then of course the nice deep square neckline that was common in the period. And that's what I'm doing. Enjoy the watercolor content. Okay, so now I have my picture, and I'm gonna try and figure out how to make this. I think I'm basically just going to cut sort of a gathered A-line structured skirt with a little bit more in the back to make it have a little bit more of that like swoosh. I'll make the bodice piece, and I think I'm gonna do laces for the closure, which, oh no, that doesn't make sense because the stays. Yeah, so while I was drawing my pretty picture, I maybe should have been actually designing more. But so, basic little puff sleeves, skirt that has a little bit of extra swoopy drapiness to it. I'm gonna try and do the bodice, at least the front, smooth with like darts instead of gathered, which would be the easiest way to do it. And I mean, I guess I can just do buttons up the back and like a snap in the skirt. Whoops, my battery's low. I guess that's what I'm doing. So here I have laid out my fabric folded right sides to right sides, and I've traced out what is going to be the front panel of my skirt. That's what I'm cutting now. That's cut on the fold, so it'll be all one piece like that, approximating here, seeing if I've got the measurements right, so it'll be gathered enough, which it seems like that'll work. Spoilers, it does work. I know, because I'm voiceover Becca. Okay, anyway. Then I also cut matching pieces for the back and sewed them together with a seam up the center back. And then here I am measuring for the bodice, and that is also cut on the fold for the front piece, and then I cut roughly similar sized pieces for the back panels, but those are going to get augmented a lot more, so it's a little bit less. I chose to be a little bit less specific. So here I am pinning the side seams together for the back panel and the front panels. I have cut 4 of the back panels and 2 of the front panels so that I can sew them right sides together and make it double-sided. I also have already put the darts in the bodice. Sorry I didn't show you that, but someone on the internet can teach you how to make darts, and it probably shouldn't be me. So here I am sewing those side seams together. Now it's time to be a responsible sewist and iron down my darts and my side seams so they lay nice and flat. So now this is all pinned around the edges, except I left what will be the armholes and the tops of the straps of the bodice open so that I can let the sleeve be the seam will get all tied up in there once the sleeves happen, but the neckline will get sewn, and then I'll need to clip my curves so that it doesn't pucker, but then then the bodice will be shaped and I can move on to the skirt. Drifting out of frame. But first I'm gonna go have I'm gonna sew this and then I'm gonna go have some lunch. All right, I'm fed and watered, and now let's make a skirt. Oh, skirt's on the floor. And that's the skirt. So here I'm just sewing straight down the side seams of the skirt after connecting the back panel together in the back seam. Then I'm going to sew 2 lines of very loose stitching all the way around the top and use that, like I'm doing here, to gather it so that it is just a little bit bigger than I would want it to be for my hips, basically, so I can step into it and pull it up, but it still has that nice sort of gathered shape at the front. And I guess without any introduction, we are now making sleeves. So I'm using the sleeve from the top shirt in the pattern I just showed you to imitate the rough shape of, because it does bunch up and gather the top to make a little puff, which is what I want to imitate. But I'm just gonna cut out the basic shape and then cut off a few inches at the bottom so that it'll be shorter. And I'm gonna turn up the edge and gather it with elastic so that it looks like a little puffed sleeve. Oh, just like that. So now I'm attaching the sleeves to the bodice. This is a little tricky to just explain, so if you don't know how to do this, I recommend finding a tutorial that'll actually teach you. But just like always, you're attaching the right sides to the right sides. I usually start with the armpit seam. That seems to be the easiest place for me. And then you just pin all the way around, sort of on the inside of the garment. And then sew it together. Okay, so I've got sleeves on the bodice, and the bodice is roughly shaped like a bodice, and I think it's gonna be buttons, but I think I might have measured poorly, so I might have to change the back. But look at that! It's a bodice with sleeves. Now, I'm gonna put on the skirt. I'll figure out the closures. Then I'll put the skirt on the bodice. And it'll be a dress. So now that the sleeves are on here, I'm looking at this back closure and the way I'm gonna do the skirt. And the skirt is just gonna have like a little extra fabric here, and then a drawstring that I can tie and put down into the skirt, and then this will close over it. And the reason I'm not gonna do laces is that even though that would be very easy, I'm gonna wear the stays under it, and then you would see the laces under the laces, unless I did like unless I did like a panel, and I don't wanna do that. But I will definitely be taking this off, both of these edges just off entirely, stitching a new piece to it to create the closure. I have to think about this a little bit, so I'll let you know what I figure out. I've changed my mind again. We are doing laces. We're doing laces over laces because that's a valid way. That's a valid way for this period to close things. I looked it up. Should have done that before I started doing this, but that's okay. And it doesn't matter because we're not doing historical accuracy. But I think it's just going to be the simplest because I don't feel like measuring enough to do buttons. And I don't really like doing buttons. So I'm going to do laces because I don't mind doing eyelets, and I can contrast. I can do cute little like hand-stitched contrast, which I think will be cute. I'll just put a new edge on here and make them even, and then I'll put boning. And I don't think that'll sit that weird over this. What do I know? That's what I'm gonna do. That's the plan. Having finally decided on a plan, I am proud to report I did in fact stick to that plan. So after adding that little bit of boning to the edge of the bodice, I attached the whole thing around, so bodice to skirt, right sides to right sides. It's basically just like folding the top down over the skirt and pinning around that inside seam. Yeah, sewing that together, and then I get to try it on. let me show you what we've got. This we don't know. Oh, I didn't go and get the chemise yet. Okay. She's a little dusty and a little wrinkled. So once this is freshened up a little bit, the chemise is gonna go under the stays that I made for this forever ago. And then we have the dress, which kind of has like 3 closures because I fixed it, but I only half fixed it. So I have a drawstring in the back and then a drawstring around this little reinforced boning-ish. I mean, it's a zip tie, so you know, whatever, boning-ish. Down here with a longer matching ribbon made out of the same satin as the dress so that that can tie in a nice bow, and it kind of obscures where all of the wonky connecting happens. I hope, I think it does. And that's gonna be the look. That's gonna be the fit. That's what I'm gonna put on now after I make my hair and my face and my ears look all elfy, but also Regency. Let's do it. Oh, and a necklace. I made a necklace. I'm worried about it though. I think I might need to restring it, but there's a necklace here. So for my makeup, I am basically just doing normal makeup, but heightening certain elements. So I used like a luminous primer that's supposed to make my face a little shiny, I guess, but shiny in a pretty way, I think, not shiny in a sweaty way. And some sort of pink accents, because I think that'll go nice with the green. And then for my hair, which full disclosure is the thing I am probably the worst at generally, I'm just gonna do kind of like a big bun, but I'm gonna pull out a few front pieces to curl and set around it so that it kind of puffs up around the crown that I'm gonna wear. Okay, I'm gonna take my headphones out. It's kind of ruining the look, but scandalous undergarments. Okay. Okay, well, I was gonna go take pictures, but I just got a call from the AC repair guy, and he's 15 minutes away. He was supposed to be here for 2 more hours, so I'm gonna change my clothes again. Okay, fine. This is gonna be my look for, I can't take the ears off. They're glued to my head. Maybe he won't notice. This is where I'm doing the recap. The end. We did it! The AC guys came. They were very, very nice. When I had the ears on, the guy was really nice and very professional, and I showed him the furnace, and then he was like, oh god, he was like, are those elf ears? And I was like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm in the middle of like a whole thing right now. And he was like, no, they're cool. I'm gonna go to Ren Fair soon. Can I ask where you got them? Mine are really cheap and they don't fit my ears. And I was like, oh, I would love to. So shout out to whatever company I bought these from. Danny Costumes. They're the ones you Google when you find elf ears online. So let's wrap this project up, shall we? Put a bow on it. I cut so many corners, and I'm not mad about it. I think one day I would like to do a more intense, like, actually maybe consider a little bit more of the like historical accuracy and some of that, but I had so much fun just prancing around in this dress. I feel very pretty, and it is literally August 31st. No, it's the 30th, August 30th. Tomorrow's the 31st, so I am doing my sort of Regency Fae end of summer elf is what this is. I finally did it, and now we can move into the fall and have new projects, and it feels good to have checked it off. Next time I make a dress like this, I'll definitely make sure to measure my undergarments before, and where they fall on my body before cutting the fabric for the dress, because as you can see in the footage, keeping the chemise tucked under the edge of the front here of the bodice was my struggle. I don't think I even managed to get a single clean shot of the back, but that's okay. And I don't know. I had a lot of fun making this dress, and we'll see what happens next.